I am in Shanghai, China, and today I am going on a very interesting adventure. I'm gonna be a part of a Chinese tea ceremony experience. And here is our tea master, our Lao Shi. If you're like me, you enjoy tea a lot, but you don't really know that much about Chinese tea history or how they actually made it back in the day. This tea experience has two parts. The first part is to understand how people in the ancient times, especially in the Song dynasty, drank tea. I will also try to make this tea myself after the Lao Shi has showed us how it's gonna be done. And the second part is to understand how the modern Chinese person drinks tea today. For that, the Lao Shi has brought us 5 teas today. That's very big in China that we can try, taste, and enjoy ourselves. And at the end, I am gonna blind taste one of the teas, and let's see if I can actually guess which one it is. Let's go. The history of Chinese tea is very similar to the history of tea worldwide. There is a legend that a man called Shenong discovered tea, and he actually used it as an antidote for some poisonous herbs that he had tried. So he was not using this tea as a drink, but as a medicine. After people used it as a medicine, they started to add seasoning into it, and they were eating it. Not drinking it, but eating it, adding it into soups and porridge and stuff like that.
Porridge,
But in the Tang dynasty, people thought eating it was not that healthy, so instead they tried to steam it first before consuming it. So how we know how people prepared the tea back in ancient times comes from this picture. This picture is from the Song dynasty, and it shows us how people back in the day prepared and enjoyed the tea. On the left is people preparing the tea, while on the right, the 3 gentlemen is the masters that are consuming and enjoying the tea afterwards. But ordinary people did also enjoy tea, and one way they enjoyed it was actually the whisking competition that they had against each other. She will also talk about people you cannot ignore when you talk about the Chinese tea history, like Emperor Huizong, if I say it correctly, that wrote this book, The Grand Thesis on Tea, in 1107 in the Song dynasty. This drawing right here is a drawing of 12 tools that were used in the Song dynasty for making tea. All the different tools here, the Lao Shi will go through what the purpose was. And the different tools did different things. With one, you beat the tea into smaller pieces, and then you use different tools to grind it even finer and finer until you have the tea powder at the end. And then we have the whisks. This was kind of interesting because it's 2 kind of whisks here.
This is from Japan. I've seen one of those before. Yeah.
It came all the way from the Song dynasty to Japan, and this is the one I am most familiar with. But there were also another whisk. It's a little bit harder to use and you need to use more time, but that's the one we're gonna try today, and I am very excited. She then continues with the rest of the things we need to know about, like the tea bowl and the foam art. After that, the presentation is over and it's time for Lao Shi to show us physically how they prepared the tea. She starts off by warming the cup with warm water, followed by dipping her whisk into it. Then she adds some tea powder and puts a little bit of water on it. And here it's important to not add too much water, just enough to melt the tea powder. Then she starts mixing it together. She then adds water until 1/3. She shows us how to hold the bowl and the whisk, and then she starts whisking. And here it's important to not have your arms down, she says. You need the correct posture. You need to sit still and straight and only sit on 1/3 of the chair, so you have enough power to keep whisking on.
It's a real workout.
When you start to whisk the tea, in the beginning the bubbles will be very big, but the more you whisk, the bubbles will get smaller and smaller, and it will become a very smooth foam at the end. When there's almost just foam, she adds more water, Every time you add more water, it dilutes the tea so it becomes more and more white.
I imagine just myself having to do this and I'm going to be sore in the muscles tomorrow.
Let's not complain beforehand, Ingrid. You can do this.
The tiring process.
Yeah.
This tea master is impressive. She really must have the most insane muscles in her arm.
那我前面是竖着写。
She also told me that where you position the whisk matters. If you go too deep into the tea, the bubbles will not disappear, so you need to put the whisk on the surface. If you use the round whisk, it will go more quickly and the foam will become more smooth. That is probably why most people use that one instead of the one the master uses now. Now she puts more tea into another cup and puts water in it. Then she blends it into a paste. Now it's time for the foam art. She now writes the word fu, which means happiness and fortune. I got told that this is a word many Chinese write on red papers and hang them on the wall during the Spring Festival.
好了，福气满满。
Now it's my turn.
So
The tea master guides us nicely through what exact you need to do, from how to hold the cup to how to whisk. I got told that when I whisk, I need to use the power of my wrist and touch the bottom of the bowl and up again.
With like the...
I have absolutely no muscles in my body, so this is gonna be interesting. Will my spaghetti arms hold up?
对，非常棒。
Then we start with warming the bowl up. Then we wetten the whisk.
Is it too clean?
To warm it up.
Oh, to warm it up.
And get rid of the water. Then I add some tea into the bowl
Like too much? Too little? Okay.
and add some water, just a little splash. I'm adjusting the grip and starts blending it together.
Like... Or just like this. A little bit more.
Then I add some more water on the sides in a circle.
One circle.
And then it's time to whisk.
I feel it already.
Uh-oh. If your muscles are tired already, it doesn't look right. No. We have to stay positive. You can do it, Ingrid. But it feels comforting that the Lao sure shows me what to do and guides me through it. Thinking about that they used so much time and effort into making one single cup of tea back in the day made me reflect on how spoiled and greedy I am when I drink tea today, probably not appreciating it like I should.
Beautiful tea. Let's go.
Time for some more water.
More.
More.
And we whisk, and we whisk, and we whisk, and we whisk. It is all foam now, so it's time to add a little bit more water in, and that can bring us some new difficulties.
Now it's gonna be a little bit harder to not spill.
We will manage though, but we have to change up our strategy a little bit.
This upper to avoid big bubbles.
Oh, just...
To avoid the big bubbles, we have to whisk on the surface. My arms are getting so tired that I do not complain if I have to use the easier tool now.
I'm getting these bigger bubbles. What am I doing wrong?
这个大波浪马上就没了。
Once you use this one, the big bubbles will disappear.
Like that?
With this tool too, you have to only whisk at the surface. But as I'm doing this, I am thinking about what I should write on my foam. But what is my friend writing over there?
Are you making a smiley face or like a face?
It's 大薯. It's a cartoon.
I don't think I've heard about it. Have you? Everything that went through my mind now was, Ingrid, do not spill. Do not spill.
OK 了，OK 了。
Okay?
OK。
Yes, the master is happy. Now it's time for the foam art.
Okay, and I can write whatever I want. I want to write cha
Maybe not the most original thing, but it sure suits the occasion. But first, let's see what my friend made. How cute!
This one.
No, so cute!
大鼠。
大鼠
Okay, Ingrid, your turn.
像哪儿好好看。
It's not gonna be perfectly written with the correct
I
stroke
think
order.
you right. It's very good.
Thank you.
I don't think you have to think about the stroke order when you do it like this, Ingrid.
Good.
谢谢. I'm happy.
And ta-da! It is done.
嘴巴里啵啵啵啵啵啵。
Should I drink just the foam?
Yeah.
Time to taste all the effort, sweat and tears I have put into this drink. I really wonder if it's gonna be good.
Oh.
皱眉头了。
How do you say like 好喝?
好喝。
好喝?
好喝。
This was nothing like I have tasted before, and I try to imagine that this is how it tasted back in the ancient Chinese times. The next part is to taste different kind of teas, and that reminds me of one tea that has become very popular in the West, the matcha tea.
And it's become so popular in the West that it's become like a lack of matcha in the West. I've seen a lot of people like use that tool and like make themselves matcha tea.
I must admit I don't know too much about Chinese tea, but I have tasted it both when I was in Shanghai and when I was in Hangzhou.
I was in Hangzhou and they have like a famous tea. I don't know if that's
Dongjing.
Longjing tea.
I tasted that both in tea form and in an ice cream form. That was really cool. But now, let's taste the teas that the Laoshe has brought for us. Before she starts, the Laoshe warms up the cups with hot water. She puts the leaves in the cup and shakes it, then smells it.
I love that smell.
We're gonna start off by tasting the green tea, which is one of the least fermented ones. So here we have green tea, white tea, oolong tea, black tea, and dark tea. A little fun fact for you is that black tea is actually called red tea in Chinese. But I guess when they were doing an English translation, it looked more black than red to the Englishman.
Let's taste. I like green tea. It's so good.
I sure like green tea, but don't be too greedy, Ingrid, and drink it all at once.
So how long did she wait from she put in the water until she served it?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
1分钟出汤吧。
1 minute.
Ah, but Ingrid has more questions.
And what's the ideal temperature she's having now? Is it boiling or is it 80 degrees? Or...
到95度。
90 to
100度不
95.
到一点。
This is just one type of green tea, and there are so much more. I must admit, I thought green tea was just one kind of tea, nothing else. As a matter of fact, the teacher told me that if we put one little sample of all Chinese green teas on this table, we will not have enough space. But now we're moving on to the next tea.
And this tea is the
White tea.
White tea. So you put the whole thing in.
I must say I know nothing about white tea. I don't even know if I ever have tried to taste it. But one time has to be the first time. And let's try it right here, right now. I'm very curious now, Ingrid. How does it taste? I like it, but I'm not even gonna pretend like I know how to explain it. So it's gonna sound something like this.
It's almost like I want to say it's sweeter, but it's not sweet, but it's kind of like giving me the feeling of it.
Right, Ingrid. It's good I am not a wine taster or any taster of any kind.
Then when it comes to the oolong tea.
Another tea I had never heard of before. But this one is slightly more fermented than the ones we have previously tasted. That smells good. But how does it taste? Ingrid, please explain it to us a little bit more detailed this time. How is it?
啊，这个好喝。
Well, that wasn't very detailed. Give me some slack. At least I'm not pretending to be an expert. I'm simply just showing you how my experience was. And sometimes the explanation can be the tea was just very good. Now it's time for the black tea, and as I said before, this is actually called red tea in Chinese. I am used to drinking black tea in Norway, but I often do not drink this in the night because I thought it had a lot of caffeine in it. But then suddenly they said something else.
I thought black tea was the most caffeine.
They said that green tea has more caffeine than black tea.
对，
Oh, I thought it was the opposite.
I did a little research now, and it seems like it depends. Some green teas can have more caffeine than black teas, and opposite. But now let's taste it. And no words is necessary to describe how it feels or tastes, because you can just watch my behavior. Because I sip, and I sip, and I sip, because man, it is good. But as we were gonna taste the last tea, I got surprised. Now we're actually tasting the real black tea.
Also, you have a tea that you call black tea.
Yeah.
Which is not
The black tea.
In English, this is called dark tea.
dark tea.
But in Chinese, it's black tea. We just like to make it complicated for ourselves, don't we?
珐琅 tea.
And here's the dark tea. The teacher is breaking it up into pieces and making it ready for us to drink. Now I'm excited. This is a real black tea. But at this point, we were so deep into a conversation that I didn't even get my reaction on camera. But it was good. Spoiler alert. But now I am gonna get a blind test. I'm gonna get one random tea and guess which one it is. This is not gonna be easy, let me tell you that.
I can taste the difference.
Yeah.
But like to now remember which taste was which, I think would be...
Difficult? Ingrid, you gotta believe in yourself. Take a little sip again of the other teas and try to reflect.
So this is the taste of grass. Very fresh.
It is. Yeah. I feel it when I drink it. It's more light and then it gets more and more like dark and smoky, earthy taste.
Now it's the blind test. I have no clue what tea she gives me, but I'm ready to try my best to guess. Can I do it?
Okay, it's not...
有排除法。
It's not the dark tea. It's not the green tea. It's one of the other ones. Not the white tea. What was the name of the others in the middle?
Oolong and black.
No. Oolong then. No?
It's black tea.
Was it black tea?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like thinking black tea was stronger in the taste, but maybe I was thinking about the dark tea.
Well, but come on, you are not a tea taster, so this was a good guess, at least knowing that dark tea and green tea was off the table. Good job.
Very good.
Thank you.
You're smart.
You have a blind test.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, exciting. Can she do it?
Oolong.
Whoa, that was a fast answer. But is it correct?
不是吗？
红茶。
I think she will give me a different one. So
But it was the same one.
And with that, this tea experience here in Shanghai has come to an end. And I have been so lucky to be a part of this
谢谢，谢谢老师。
and to experience this with this amazing Lao Shi and tea master. This is something you can experience yourself, and she has so much more knowledge and facts that I didn't put in this video that she will teach you. And because I really enjoyed this, I have decided to have an affiliate link for this experience. And the link is down in the description below. If you click this, you don't pay anything extra, but I will get a little cut from you booking the tea experience. So thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful experience. 再见